Uh, Thank you so much, Amanda, and good evening, everyone, and good morning for those joining us from the US. Happy to see all of you, and happy to do this again today, being the second day of the Land Accelerator Impact Days. My name is Samuel Kabiru. I'm actually streaming from Nairobi, and I lead our Land Accelerator work in Africa. And I'm happy to host you today. So you're most welcome. We will actually make it as interactive as possible. So feel free to use the Q&A section as well as the chat. So to start us off, I will be sharing my screen just to be able to make a few remarks, if that's okay.
Oh, sure, yes.
So give me a minute. Should be coming. Okay, so thank you. So we did have this similar program yesterday where 6 entrepreneurs actually did pitch to an audience. We had over 108 participants yesterday. Majority of them being entrepreneurs as well as investors across the globe. And so today we will actually get to hear from 9 entrepreneurs from Africa pitching their businesses to all of us here. And again, everybody here has a role to play besides being a panelist or an attendee. You're free to actually comment on some of these businesses. Just a reminder of the language. So feel free, if you have joined us now, feel free to click on the globe icon for the interpretation. At some point, we'll definitely have French-speaking entrepreneurs. So just click, if you're speaking English, just click on that. If it's French, do that as well. So welcome, Paul is on the chat. So continue to fill it. We really appreciate. Yesterday, we did have opening remarks from the African Union Development Agency, the lead for AFR 100, because today we have a number of entrepreneurs lined up for pitching. We might not repeat on this, but we may want to recognize who is here. We'll also share a bit of Land Accelerator journey with those who are joining us for the first time. So we'll do that briefly, as well as recognize the mentors that we have been able to journey with, as well as the investors that have continued to support us. And at the end, we'll actually get to the real deal, which is actually listening to the pitches from the entrepreneurs, the 9 entrepreneurs. But before we do that, it's good to remind ourselves why we are doing this, why we are here, and good to appreciate that we're in a global crisis. Soon, COP26 will be starting, where the discussion will be how do we make our world better in terms of climate change, because we're already in a crisis. We see that 3% of our agricultural soil are severely damaged, and hence affecting a third of the population. And 48% of the forest has been lost or degraded. Just to be specific, for Africa, 6 million hectares are actually lost every year, hence affecting the lives of so many local communities. And for us at WRI, together with our partners, we do believe that entrepreneurship can actually result to overcoming some of these challenges. And that's why we have actually made a deliberate effort to support these entrepreneurs. We do this with an aim to reap the benefits of restoring degraded land. And so here, it shows some of the benefits that we want to accrue. This is the ideal situation. So we're in the right place, and the support towards entrepreneurs will actually help us achieve this. Allow me to recognize our lead trainer and our partner, Fledge, led by Luni Libes, who is here today. So thank you so much, Luni, for journeying with us. We really appreciate. Yes, we do, and we are happy that you're here. Also, let me recognize Rekia Fidel on behalf of the mentors that have actually been working with us. She's actually the co-founder of BACA, which is a financial institution working with small enterprises in the Sahel country. So thank you so much, Rekia, on behalf of the mentors. And at this point, back to you, Amanda, so as you can continue with the rest of the presentation.
Okay, so yeah, you can keep sharing the slides. And again, we just want to give thanks. Oh, you can keep sharing the slides. That would be great. Want to keep sharing the slides. And also, I believe that we can thank our sponsors. We can thank our trainers who are listed here, as well as our mentors. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever slide you're on is fine. But particularly wanted to just check in if Looney wanted to say a few words to the group today as well.
Sure, really quick. A smaller version than yesterday, which
Oh, I accidentally muted you, Looney, so unmute yourself. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
I'll do it really quickly today. So how we got here is we had 1,300 applications to this program. This is the third time we've run the Land Accelerator Africa. We started in 2018. Out of the 1,300, we decided, since we had to do it virtually, that we might as well invite a very large number. When we thought 100 was a very large number, when we thought it'd be hundreds of applicants. Of those, 70 something came to the sessions and did the work and submitted a video and materials about their companies. We selected 15 of those companies. That's what you're going to see today is the second half of those 15. We spent a few months with all 100. We spent a few months with the 15, trying to hone them down. And we're only 2/3 of the way done with this program. So this is not the end of the program. This is not the last day, because in a little less than a month, we're going to spend a week with them face-to-face under a tent in Nairobi. And we're going to help them a wee bit more, try and get them a little more polished. So what you're seeing now is still a work in progress. Keep that in mind as you hear their proposals. And we're excited to see where they are. We're excited to see how far they've come, and we're really excited to see where they end up. With that, I'll hand it back to Sam.
Thank you so much, Looney. Amanda, do you want to continue?
Well, not sure that we had so much more to say, except for wanted to thank the partnership that we had with Looney and with Fledge, his organization there that's running accelerators around the world. It's been a fantastic partnership. Wanted to also recognize our partnership with the AFR 100 as well. And I saw that Teiko is available. And if Teiko, would you like to say any words to the group here today? And it might be Mamadou, because yesterday it was Teiko signed in as Mamadou. I'm not sure.
Today it's myself. Mamadou is in another meeting with the bigger team for the announcements that are going to come in at the COP. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and for the journey that you've taken with us. And just like Looney said, it still continue. We are going to be meeting face-to-face in Nairobi on November 15th to 19th. And we would like to thank all the partners that have made this possible for us to be able to reach the goal of the AFR 100 and the commitment of all the countries during this decade. So to WRI, Flash, the Dune Foundation, Mitsubishi Africa, the Swedish Embassy in Ethiopia, the African Union Development Agency, and all of y'all individually, we really appreciate your time and your efforts to making restoration in Africa fashionable and worthy for the entrepreneurs that are pursuing it. So with that said, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Teiko. Thank you so much. And again, just wanted to put in the chat box kind of at this time, the link to the feedback form for today so that people can start to fill it out with their name and be ready for our pitches that are coming. And with that, Samuel, I'm not sure, I think I could pass it back to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Amanda. So perhaps we will definitely get to the pitches. But before that, for those who are joining us for the first time, very important that we share who we are as the Land Accelerator. And just to mention that the Land Accelerator is a curated program that aims to support restoration entrepreneurs in Africa and in other geographies. So we are also supporting entrepreneurs in Asia, as well as Latin America. So we do this in a way that we accelerate growth for these companies. So we provide mentorship to these companies. We also support these companies from an investor angle, ensuring that they are ready to be able to access the available finances across the globe, as well as connecting them to like-minded investors who can actually support their businesses, among many other support that we actually give them. So we did start in 2018. So we have done for Africa 2018 and 2019, supporting 26 companies. And this year, as Luni did mention, we have actually supported about 100 companies. And we hope to grow these numbers as we move forward. Our expectation is that we can be able to support more and more so in countries working and collaborating with other institutions within the different countries that we hope to work with. So that's what we are for. And we do encourage the entrepreneurs who are here to check out on us on the internet. Because we have a call already open for next year, 2022. We'll definitely share those links with you as we move forward. Because of time, you'll allow us to start the pitches. And we'll start with Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, if you are here, Elizabeth from Botanic Treasure, if you're here, maybe you can start to share your screen. She does that, good to mention that we'll actually have 4 minutes pitch. And then we'll allow the panelists who are here, comprising of investors and partners, to be able to ask questions as well as provide feedback. So Elizabeth, if you can hear me.
I'm just getting that. Can you see my screen?
It's not sharing yet.
Okay, as she gets it ready, I would also wish to encourage everyone to provide feedback to these entrepreneurs. In one way or another, you can contribute to their growth as well. Elizabeth, we can see your screen. Maybe you can put it on presentation mode. Thank you. Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Elizabeth from Botanic Treasures. And can you imagine having a child and not being able to support the life of that child? That was me. I didn't have breast milk, and my husband asked farmers what they use to get a mom to have milk. And they said moringa. So we came home with moringa, I used it, and within a few hours, I was a bit of a freshen. I had the baby choking on one side and a cup on the other breast, and I got my dignity back. And I decided to share this miracle with the rest of the world. And that is how Botanic Treasures was born. So we have a two-pronged approach where we are solving the issue of malnutrition through and encouraging people to reforest. I think it has hanged. Can you see the next slide?
There might be a lag.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not moving on my end.
Just click on the screen and then use the moving arrow. on your keyboard.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. So anyway, that's how we came into being. And so we're looking at 200 million sub-Saharan African who are malnourished. And in Kenya alone, we're over 70% unarable land. So that fusion of nutrition and afforestation comes into play. And that is what we're doing. So we are using this amazing tree that WHO has said is one of the most useful and most nutritious tree. With that plethora of nutrition, it mirrors the nutritional needs of your body and even of your animals and anybody who uses it. So it's fantastic. So we've leveraged on local knowledge and we've developed palate-friendly products. We have teas, some of which even are probiotic teas. We have probiotic drinks. We've used, local indigenous trees like baobab, tamarind to develop that. We have a soup and we even have a porridge. So we've created traction with our 2 shops and we got supermarkets interested in stocking our products. And we are in about 110 or more. The global market is about 10 billion, but by 2025, we're looking at about 25 billion for Moringa. So the industries that Moringa can service are both cosmetics, animal feeds, water purification, paper milling at 7 months. It's an amazing tree, leather tanning. So it's a great tree to grow. The global demand is at 1 million hectares. We're only doing a paltry 160,000 hectares globally. So we need your support to be able to meet that demand. In this region where you're seeing where I'm standing, and that is a farm, we have about 1,500 farmers who are interested in partnering with us. For the past years, we've been working with 500 farmers only. So we want to grow that whole region. We have competition, but some of our competition, we supply them, like HealthyU. They are the biggest bulk buyers in the country. But I think our strength is in value chain development. We have very good value chain management, and also partnering with KEMRI, which is Kenya Medical Research Institute. Already we have an agreement to do immunology of Moringa. So the beauty of working with Moringa is that there are so many SDGs we can be able to explore, but we've just chosen a few, and that is job creation, which is a major problem in Africa and in Kenya. We have 80% female employees and 60% farmers. We love it that we're able to move Susan from this little mud house you can see on your left to a 3-bedroom solar powered house. And also have one member who we paid and walked into a motorbike shop and drove out with a motorbike, which was so exciting. Hunger is another thing we are totally doing a great job by intercropping cowpeas and also sweet potatoes. And that also brings an extra income for the farmers, because now we're even seeing issues of doing sweet potato flour, which is amazing. This is where our mainstay is, other than getting farmers to grow, and that is sharing our amazing products with the marginalized in northern Kenya. That is totally like a desert, and also sharing seeds, because those seeds they can use to purify water. We have already planted about 300 hectares of Moringa so far, changing the environment that you can see, which is purely scrubland and a lot of tree felling, and of course, cleaning the air. So if you lived in a house in a Moringa forest, you'd be breathing the cleanest air in the world. We have been endorsed by the current president of Kenya, to do a school greening project, and they'll use the Moringa also for the feeding program. I'm welcoming WRI to be part of that. Our team is amazing, and we have an agronomist like Dr. Martin Kiogora at ILRI, who's in our advisory, and also Sylvia as business development. So if you come and help us be able to meet this global demand, at least we should be able to supply 12 container loads every year, at container per year, and we can grow that even to 2 once all the 1,500 farmers are enjoined. Our ask is $500,000, and we'd want to build a resource center with the second tranche. The first tranche has already been supported by KCV, or Climate Change Affiliate, and also would want to do market research, we want to do value chain deepening, want to scale up our staff, and we want to build our brand. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Good presentation. Now I'm opening it up to the panelists for feedback question. Feel free to unmute yourself. Yes, go next, Rory.
Thank you for that presentation. I love the way you started with a personal example. Could you talk us through how you do all this? Is it through partnerships? Is it through paid staff? If you could explain a little bit about how it works on the ground.
Okay, so I'm at the marketing side. So I'm the face of Botanic Treasures. I do placement of products, meeting clients, going for corporate meetings. And my co-founder does the back end, which is now the value chain deepening, engaging farmers. He's the agronomist, and he's done a lot of work with farmers over the years. He's done organic fertilizers in the past. It's over 15 years working with farmers with different organizations. And that's how we came across Moringa. So I do the selling, I do the social media, I do everything at the front, and he handles all the farmers, networking with maybe people who want to supply inputs, showing them, training them even how to do organic fertilizers, because all our Moringa is organic. Training farmers on different superfoods like hibiscus, lemongrass, yes, how to grow and manage organically. Hello?
Thanks. Yeah. And then does he have a staff working for him to do that extension?
Yes.
Outreach?
So we have the farm manager, and we also have some 16 staff, and we have TAs that now are the ones who go to the farmers. Like the 500 farmers are in Meru, and we're in the next county, which is Tharaka Nithi. So before we just used to buy from the farmers, but like 2 years ago, 2018, we identified this farm in Tharaka Nithi. It's a region that is below Mount Kenya. So it's totally dry. It's on the leeward side, but there are rivers that crisscross. But the community is purely on goat keeping and chickens. They've never taken advantage of the water. So we saw the opportunity, and that's why we want to now take advantage, turn the whole landscape, because it's just dry and scrub and charcoal burning, and get them to be organic certified so that we can be able to export. So the resource center is where we're going to do the certification, and then we have the family farms around us and joined into the business. And now they become our suppliers, and they come to learn at the resource center.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Aparupa, I see your hand is up.
Yes, thanks so much. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Aparupa.
Lovely to meet you, and thanks so much for your presentation. I had a couple of comments and questions. One is, first of all, I think the essential oil industry is absolutely fascinating, and I was wondering if you could help unpack what you identified. I think it was a $10 billion market opportunity. Did I say that correctly? Yes, I was wondering if you could unpack that a little bit more for me, especially vis-a-vis the overall value chain. Because if you're looking at Moringa, it feeds into flavor and fragrances, it feeds into cosmetics, which you've already identified, it feeds into pharmaceuticals, so it feeds into a few major industries. So if you could unpack that a little bit, the 10 billion, the value chain for me, that would be helpful.
So what we are looking at, right now we are just doing Moringa for nutrition and climate and land restoration. So 70% of the 10 billion is actually just purely nutrition, because with COVID, in the face of COVID, everybody wants to boost their immunity, and nobody wants an invasive kind of boosting the immunity. Everybody would prefer a non-invasive way of boosting their immunity. So by taking Moringa either in smoothies, in doing even fresh Moringa dried, doing smoothie blends, doing energy drinks, that would really, and even the ingredient market is a huge one, where Moringa is backed into into a lot of the superfoods, whether it's like what we're doing with baobab, moringa, sweetening with stevia, and just doing a composite kind of a product, porridge flours. It's a product you can use to fortify other foods, and because it has 96 nutrients, it makes it super nutritious.
Okay, that's
so the
interesting.
biggest market, 70% of the 10 billion is actually in nutrition. Then we have paper milling, we have oil extraction from the seed, and so much animal feeds.
Okay, okay. So you're looking specifically at the nutraceutical and ingredient market. I think from a presentation standpoint.
Relief. Yes, the relief agencies, yes.
Got it.
Okay.
No, thank you for the clarification. I think in the presentation it would be helpful to also kind of break that down a little bit. But yes, thank you. Appreciate the clarification.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for that feedback. Definitely, we can continue to engage with Elizabeth on the feedback form that has been shared, as well as on the chat and Q&A. So Elizabeth, feel free to check on that and respond accordingly. Because of time, I believe we can move to the next presenter. So we'll have Edmond presenting. So Edmond, if you are ready, just share your screen. 4 minutes, please. We can see your screen. Maybe you can unmute yourself, put the video on, and then go next.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Edmond. We can
yes.
see you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I was born in a peasant family, and when I was young, my parents sent me to the agro shop to purchase fertilizer and pesticide. So it was a bit far, 5 kilometers away from my home. So sometimes I miss classes. But the bad thing was, after using the product, those containers and packages were dropped in the land, distracting the land, the soil, infertility.
Maybe you can click on your screen and then use the
yes.
Okay.
So my name is Edmund Mulago. I'm the founder and CEO at Ngwala Innovation Tanzania. So at Ngwala Innovation, we are solving the problem of 300 million tons of empty pesticide containers that are produced each year, causing environmental pollution after being dumped in the soil. But another problem is in the accessibility and the unaffordability of biopesticide and fertilizer. So on the picture, that is John. John have traveled from his farm to the agro shop. So he has paid for the transport and lost his time. But the bad thing is he's purchasing the pesticide and fertilizer in the container that when you go back to the farm after using, we drop them in the soil, causing soil infertility. So we have tried to come with the solution, and our solution is biopesticide and fertilizer dispensing machine. These are digital machines that are installed around the farms to deliver biopesticide and fertilizer to small order farmers on time, on site, and at lowest cost. So this is how it works. Farmers do pay through the mobile money. Then they receive the code. They go to the machines that are installed around the farm. They enter the SCOOT codes, the machine, and receive the biopesticide. We do train them to go with their sprayers so that they don't use those containers. So after receiving, they go back to their farms and dilute it and spray to the farm. So these are our propositions. We cut transport cost and save time, but our system is environmental friendly as it's ignores the use of containers or bottles. So when it comes to the market, fertilizer and pesticide market, it's $3 billion US. But that is total market. But our sales market is $100 billion US, and our potential market is $20 billion US. Our target customers these are smallholder farmers who are vegetable and cotton growers, and these are aged 18 to 45 years who are living in a poor condition. We are not alone. We have competitors. The first column is our company, and the second column is sustainable agriculture, and the last column is Paramount Pesticide. But our competitive advantage is our system is digital. but also we deliver biopesticide and fertilizer on site. Another good thing is it's affordable, that we cut the costs, the transport cost on the side of smaller farmers. We are making money, so we are charging 10% of $3, which is the cost of 1 liter from the manufacturers who use our dispensing machine to deliver biopesticide or biofertilizer to smallholder farmers. So far, we have 20,000 paying customers who are smallholder farmers, and I've said these are cotton growers and vegetable growers. So our profit margin is at 8%, and we have helped these smallholder farmers to increase the yields from 1 ton to 1.5 ton. That means it's 50% increase. But also we have a monthly revenue of $5,000, and we have helped to restore 400,000 hectares of land. We are asking for $100,000. This is the investment that we need now to expand our production to 100 million transaction, which will enable us to get a revenue of $300,000, and the money will go to cover the construction of the machines, but also the installation, transportation and installation of the machines, but also training of these smallholder farmers, because this is a modern way that they didn't know it before, and also doing research and development to improve now our saves. These are our financials. We started in 2019. By that time, we earned a profit of $9,000. But it has been increasing that this year we expect to earn the profit of $5,000. And in the year 2022, we expect to have a revenue of $115,000. This is our team. It's made of 5 members. The first person, Dr. Terence Sahinga, he's our business advisor. Our team is passionate, energetic, with an average of 15 years experience in agro-input industry and software development. Thank you. Join us to help smallholder farmers increasing yields and income to feed 9 billion people by the year 2050, but also to protect the soil from being distracted by these containers and packages which are dumped in the soil by these smallholder farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Edmond. Very great innovation. I see Looney, your hand is up. Perhaps we can go. You can go first.
Yeah, quick clarification. When you say you have $5,000 recurring monthly revenue, that's your revenue. That's not the 10. That's not the. You said you take 10% of the payment. That's your 10%, correct?
Yes. We are providing the service through our digital system, dispensing and the dispensing machine. So from the manufacturers, we do take 10% of $3.
So when you say it's $5,000 of revenue, that's not $5,000 to the pesticide company. That's $5,000 to you.
That $5,000 both from the biopesticide and biofertilizer manufacturers who do use our dispensing machine to deliver their product to smallholder farmers. So okay. It's yeah.
So we do want to just understand then, is your company receiving $500 a month then, 10%, or $5,000, your company? Like, what's the split? Yeah, how much goes to the biopesticides? How much comes to Ningwala Inventions?
Okay, that $5,000 is the total amount of the revenue that we receive from the manufacturers. So it's both from biopesticide and biofertilizer manufacturers who deliver their biopesticide and biofertilizer to smallholder farmers. So from the 10%, now we made $5,000 per month.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said. Okay, great, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. I saw Rory, your hand was up. And then Edmond, perhaps you can try to be brief because of time. Rory, you can go next.
Yeah, 20,000 customers already. That's incredible. Congratulations on your progress. My question is the growth that you are trying to achieve between 2021 and 2022 in sales, it's like almost 4 times. what do you need in place to make that happen? Yeah, I'll leave it with just that one question, and thank you.
Okay. I have said we need the investment of 100,000 US dollar. That means we need now to manufacture more machines. And from that money, we are going to manufacture 25 machines and do a survey and install them now around the farms where these smallholder farmers are and where we have not reached. So now from those machines, we are expecting to make a transaction of 1 million, which will made us to have a revenue of 300,000.
Thank you so much, Edmond. So allow me just to take two of the panelists. Aparupa, if it's okay with you, maybe you can direct the question on the chat, and I'm sure Edmond, you should be able to answer that on the Q&A or the chat. So
we should encourage questions on the, I think we should encourage questions on the Q&A box, because then everybody can check the answers and the questions very easily. So anyone who has questions, use the Q&A box. And if you can, put the name of the entrepreneur or the company, if you can remember it, so it can help the entrepreneurs know which questions are for them. So I want to thank everybody for all these questions that are rolling in, and check the question and answers after you're done presenting. Thanks.
Okay, so we'll move to the next person, Fine Fusion, Uganda. So perhaps you can start to share your screen and start. Is there, we can see your screen? Perhaps you may want to start.
Good evening, everybody. Fine Fusion Concepts is a business based in Uganda that is focused on transforming our food system so that we can have more food security. And to do that, we find that we need to do something about the degraded land. Up to 20% of arable land in Uganda is actually degraded. And we find that the problem is that the nutrition in the soil is getting depleted. I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll down and I don't know.
Just,
is the screen changing?
No, Isela. Yeah, it's changing now.
Okay. So that's what some of the degraded land looks like in Uganda. This is the specific what we're working on. So we feel that we need to move on to regenerative farming systems in order to change the way we produce our food and to ensure sustainability in the food system. Our opportunity for a solution, we find that in value addition and processing, and we want to leverage the underutilized indigenous beans. Uganda has over 30 different varieties of indigenous beans and crops of various nature. And our model is one that wants to look forward to inspire demand for these products so that we can give the farmers an incentive, knowing that there will be some opportunity to feed into the market, which would be us who would buy the beans from them after training them, offering training services in regenerative methods, and then we would process that and then take it back to the market as a product. Our products include bean-based forage and several kinds of flours for different applications. And we intend to extend that to dal and other snacks. We have competitors on the market who are already dealing in different flours and forages. And we are deliberately leveraging on what we perceive to be our weaknesses by partnering with partners, strategic partners that can help us in product development and distribution. So we believe that if we distribute our products widely, then we can generate a demand that gives us a greater access into the market. Currently, we have traction that we have been able to transform 2.5 hectares in 2 seasons since we launched in March this year. We've managed to transform land that was a quarry into currently productive arable land. Also, strategic partnerships will give us access to up to 300,000 consumers and a network of up to 250 farmers, although currently we've managed to work with 4 smallholder farmers. So leveraging on those partnerships, we will be exposed to a market that if we were able to convert 20% of that market share, we're looking at earning a profit of up to $168,000 of profit per year. Our ask is $12,000, which we are hoping will finance the milling machinery and the packaging, the branding, the product development, which we will do with our partners, and the intellectual property. And then we will also inject some money into improving the demonstration farm, the compliance, and the certification. We are currently working with a team of 4 that are based on the farm. Is my co-founder, Nelson Utenabo, who is the one who lives in the community mobilization and in the marketing and market development. And we also, being a small startup, we also greatly rely on different business incubators and accelerators in our country, the National Agriculture Research Organization, and those who are in business and have been in business longer, both with the farmer partnerships and as well as in the market, the East African Basic Foods. And with that kind of strategic partnership, we believe that we can make regenerative land use kind of roll out in all of Uganda and restore now 20%, can I say, degraded lands in Uganda more arable. And what you see on the screen is the land, what it was, the before and after. Currently, that's what the land looks like at the moment. So we believe that we can do it and can feed the world. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, Izela. I'm opening it up to the panelists. So anyone, feel free to jump in. Any question for Izela? Feedback? Yes, Aparupa.
Thanks, Izela. I just had one point of clarification. I was curious about what your ideas around scale would be for something like this, since it's quite focused in terms of product, and I don't have a clear sense of what additional uses there could be for what you're looking at from a product perspective.
The scale that we're hoping for is that we could go nationwide, which is why we thought that if we partnered with one of the country's biggest millers, who are not even, they're leveraging only the soybean. If we partnered with them, then they have wider distribution networks, then probably we will be able to kind of flow out into the market in a big way and be visible. And then we would also show the smallholder farmers that there is a market for this product because we're buying it from them and using it for value addition. The different flour applications, I mean, we have the beans in that we could turn into a form of dal and different quick snacks. We could also do it for fortified or porridge flours and flours for soups and gravies, flours for baking. Different kinds of beans do different kinds of things, but we feel that there is a market to absorb that and more to that is that the indigenous beans are more resilient. So they can weather hard weather conditions better, they require less water, and that means the farmer himself will have less inputs. And already traditionally, there's a culture in traditional agriculture for the smallholders, there's a culture of having food forests, if we go back to the traditional way of doing it, which leaves plant cover on the land throughout, and then the land itself gets more moisture. So the method would kind of work, and we feel that it would keep supply into the market, and the market, if we create products that are quick cooking, that are nutritious and are applicable, then the market can absorb it, especially when it's coming.
Oh, excuse me, Zella. We want to maybe have time for one more question, but we need to move a little quicker just because there's more entrepreneurs today. So anything else I would suggest if you guys could follow up, and let's see if we have one more question. And we may or may not, so let's see, I'm not sure.
Okay, it seems we don't have one. So Isela, check on the chat as well as on the Q&A. Quite a lot of discussion going on there. So I want to encourage the entrepreneurs to be a bit fast, even in terms of their response, so as we can be able to accommodate more questions. So next, we'll actually have Germac Holdings from Tanzania. So if you are here, feel free to share your screen and go next.
Good evening. My name is Mr. Omora Mwangwa. I'm the CEO of Germac Holdings Limited, a land restoration company based in Tanzania. We are addressing two major challenges that face smallholder farmers. The first being forest deforestation, which in Tanzania, we estimate that 500,000 hectares of forest lost every year. We are also addressing the problem of post-harvest losses related to horticulture products that farmers fail to take it to the market. We have three propositions to these two problems. With the first is agroforest project that we promote this through making upfront investment on deforested land. The second, we do some market linkage from the product that extracted or harvested from the deforested land. And then we also process avocado oil from avocado waste, because we are working on the avocado value chain. Our unique solution is that we work with our landowners by putting initial investment on their farms, while they do also some intercropping with other crops. And secondly, we sell some seedling at reduced cost in order for them to afford initial investment cost. What we do is that we convert the degraded land into productive land. Like we are working on avocado sector, that we manage to increase production due to better agronomic practices like mixed farming and the use of organic fertilizers. The market for avocado value chain nationwide, nearly $4.2 million US. This is from the current estimated 15,000 farmers, but we are targeting 5% of that. And currently we are looking to work with 750 farmers, and we are targeting the market value of $225,000 US in 2022. Our achievement is that we have been able to restore 200 hectares of land and we have been able to generate the revenue of $78,000 in 2020. In terms of impact, we have been able to increase number of jobs, in which 60% were women supported jobs. We increased food security. We have been able to restore lands. We have been able to sequester carbon dioxide, as well as we have been able to link farmers to the market. We have been able to link farmers to the income of around $105,000. This is from avocado sold to buyers. In terms of our business model, we make money from selling of seedlings. We receive commission from sales of avocado, as well as we have started also producing crude avocado oil, of which we sell locally at the cost at the price of 7,500 per ton of crude avocado oil. In terms of competition, we have 4 major competitors, which these are producers of avocado oil. But our competitive advantage is that we are working with small scale farmers that have been overlooked by these 4 major competitors. And we also link these farmers to the market, as well as we promote agroforests that include also food crops in order to improve food security. We are looking
We're
to—
at 4 minutes.
Okay, so in terms of the team, we are a team of 4 from the likes of engineering, forest management, as well as marketing and procurement. Our ask is $150,000, in which 50% will be used for capital expenditure and 49% will be used for operation expenditure. So thank you very much. That was our presentation.
Thank you so much, Wamola. Very good presentation. So I'm opening it up to the panelists. Anyone can go first. Encourage feedback to the entrepreneurs. So panelists, feel free to unmute yourself.
I'll go first. Thank you, Wamola, for the very interesting presentation. Just a point of clarity, in one of the slides you had indicated that you're targeting 750 new farmers. And in the next slide, you talk about 500 farmers. So does that mean you have already, you have existing 500 farmers and you plan to add that to 750 or to add that to 1,250?
Yeah, we are connected to, currently we are connected to 500. So we are expecting to add new 750 farmers. So that is the number that we are expecting in coming year.
Okay, thank you. And another question, you've talked about the potential for scaling up in the region where you're working in, but it's not coming out clearly how that plan to scale up will happen, apart from acquisition of additional capital machinery. What are other strategies that you plan to use to scale up, especially in terms of farmer outreach?
Yeah, so when we will be concentrating with oil processing, we will have some income to support farmers. So we'll give farmers seedling for free. So if we provide seedling for free, then a lot of farmers will come into the project. That is our scale up plan, look like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eda. Any other question from the panelists? Okay, I'm not sure anyone is speaking, but I see on the chat there's a question for you, Wamola, from Patricia. Whether you have partnership with government and how do you get farmer buy-in? Who pays their salaries? Do you buy avocado for them? Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, so what we do is that farmers, they have their own lands. So what we do is that we put some initial investment. So all what we put on there in terms of avocado trees, it's owned by our company. But since we intercrop with some other crops like soya beans and other short-term crops, so they get some income that they use to pay us back. So that is our model, because avocado take around 3 to 5 years to be able to provide some benefits. So in short terms, we use some sort of other crops that can be used to cover our investment back.
Thank you, Wamola. Yeah, for any question to Wamola, feel free to drop them on the chat or just use the Q&A, and I'm sure he will be able to respond. So we'll move on. So the next company is from Madagascar. So we have Swazara, Madagascar Biofood. If you're here, you can start to share your screen. I'm not sure whether you're presenting in French. Yes, so feel free to let us know. Thank you. Swazara, we can't hear you. Maybe you can put on presentation mode, if it's okay.
Ok. Est-ce que vous m'entendez là? Et le slide, est-ce qu'il est arrivé?
Oui.
Ok. Comme ça? Ok. Bon, bonjour à tous. I will speak.
Good morning, everyone.
And sorry again because there is. Okay. Sorry again because there is no electricity here. And so sorry again, but I will start. Okay. I think that everyone loves to have a good sauce. And most of us use black pepper. And do you know that one pepper plant needs 7 kilos of chemical fertilizer? And one flavor enhancer has 1 cube, contain more than 25% of salt that is for us for 1 day. Okay. So we want to propose the white pepper of Madagascar. This is an endemic pepper, and its particularity is that its growth inside our surrounding natural forest and along indigenous trees as support. So it is organic because we don't need fertilizer, and we don't need salt. So, during this, since 2019, we train 18 young women to have good behavior by collecting white paper, and we work also with 14 women on post-selection in order to provide them seasonal work. So they work with us as they are cooperative, local cooperatives, and local collectors who work with us. During these 2 years, we plant 14,000 indigenous trees in surface of 21 hectares of degraded forest. So our actual customers are still from Madagascar. Species still are from France, Switzerland, and Belgium. And actually, Madagascar quotas is about 20,000 tons, and we produce 2,000 tons of paper per year only. So there is a gap that we can fill. So Madagascar Biofood export last year 75 kilogram of white paper. So this we sold it for $47 per kilo in international markets and have a revenue of $3,500. So our profit margin was 60% per kilo. Our growth is that with Land Accelerator support, we hope to have $88,000 on 2024. So our direct competitors are Kodal, Takaranda Export, and they are a big company, and small informal enterprises. But our advantage is that we work with cooperatives and local collectors, so we have good prices. These are our teams, me, we have Master Tour Environmental Protection and follow training with the Lumelu Foundation. And these are agronomes and have responsible of our marketing, have 3 years of experiences. Our ask is $45,000. And the most important is that we plant 30,000 indigenous trees and 3,000 pepper seedlings. So our advantage for investor is that with the 3,000 tons of pepper, we want to produce 12 tons of paper and have a revenue of $564,000 after free, which means in 2020. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry again for the electricity.
No, it's okay. It's understandable. And thank you so much. English being your second language, you have actually done justice. So thank you so much, Swazara. Yes, Nineri, do you want to go first with your feedback question? Mezio, if you're trying to speak, you're on mute.
Thank you. I wasn't sure whether you're asking somebody else or not. Thank you for the presentation. I think that pepper as well is also in Nigeria, though I forget the name. And sorry, can I ask my question in English? I should also check before I. Je peux parler en anglais?
Donc, j'ai besoin d'une interprétation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how are you thinking about, so 2 parts to the question. How are you thinking about scaling? You have one product, which if I understand correctly, you are looking to export as a packaged food item for a retail customer. Are you also thinking of selling bulk to bulk buyers, which could include fast food restaurants, chains, hotels, who would use different seasoning blends into their products? And are you also looking at broadening the range of spices and seasonings that you're looking to produce and sell?
OK. Comme on a commencé en 2019.
Given that we started in 2019, we are just wholesalers. We sell, we are wholesalers, so we sell in sacks of 10 kilograms, but with Land Accelerator, we are thinking of diversifying the quantities we sell. So we want to sell in small quantities for small restaurants, hotels, etc. For the second question, exactly in Madagascar, we have different like ginger and other but we are already thinking first in getting customers who can buy those different types of which we can develop, because we have already talked to different cooperatives, because we want to work with local cooperatives, because it's very important. First of all, we want to work with local cooperatives without using intermediaries. Once we have built that trust, we'll first build the trust, and then because there are companies which do not pay these people, so we really have to work on trust first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe as an offline conversation, I'm happy to provide additional information, because we've been involved in helping grow a spice company here in Nigeria that exports, sells locally, and does a broad range of different spices, retail, B2B, and others. So happy to provide additional feedback offline.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Zio, for that offer. Definitely we'll follow it up. I see, Aparupa, your hand is up, as well as Rory. Perhaps you can go next, Rory, and then Aparupa, and then Swazara, you can answer them at once. So Rory, yeah.
Okay. A quick question, and thank you for that presentation and your excellent work. How do we think about the taste of this pepper? Is it a replacement for black pepper? Is it something that's different that chefs all over the world might want to start trying? If you could talk about the taste profile, and I'll pass the question over.
Thank you, Aparupa.
Ok, le goût, c'est un peu
Maybe
piquant.
Swazara.
Ok.
Yes,
That
maybe
it's
you can
really
get
hot.
Aparupa, maybe you can go next and then we combine because of time.
Sure. I just wanted to understand two things. One is just to get a sense of what the overall value chain looks like, and if there's possibility for value addition and processing, because I'm not clear on that. And the second is I want to understand a bit about what the opportunity cost is. How long does it take to grow a pepper tree? How much land is necessary? Can it be intercropped with other plants? Yeah, just want to understand a little bit around that as well. Thank you.
So Zara, you can go.
Ok. Puis-je répondre? Ok. Ok. L'opportunité,
the opportunity, we actually mentioned that, for example, with the Land Accelerator and WRI, we will have to, we said that after 3 years, our pepper will have grown to maturity. And that's why we need to plant local indigenous trees so that we harvest enough of this.
Ok. Le goût, c'est un peu piquant.
So now, with regards to the taste, it's a little bit sugary and hot. So it's the taste. It's kind of wooden and sugary, but also very hot when you compare it to other types of peppers. This one is it has a little bit of sugar in it and a little bit hot.
Okay, then I assume that you're through, Swazara. I'm not sure whether all the questions have been answered, but if not, feel free to engage Swazara on the Q&A as well as on the chat, or even on the feedback form, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer. So thank you so much, Swazara, that was good. So next we'll actually have Pona briquettes. So if you're here, feel free to share your screen.
Merci beaucoup.
Hello. Why don't we produce alternative cooking fuel so that people, Balumburu from Ghana, the founder of Pona Briquettes? Yes, I think we should, because Africans burn more than 23 million tons of charcoal every year. This puts pressure on our forests. And we all know the effect of deforestation. So at Pona Briquettes, we recycle rice husks into alternative charcoal for cooking. We use rice husks because it is abundant and it is also free. After recycling it, we sell it to households, restaurants, and schools. 1 kilo of our briquette is sold at 1.5 Ghana cedis, which is lower than a kilo of the wood charcoal, which is sold at 2 Ghana cedis. The market size for our briquette is $90 million US. We are aiming at least 20% of the market share. If you compare our briquette with charcoal, ours is clean and smokeless. It burns longer than the ordinary charcoal, and it is 30% cheaper. Our closest competitor is Ableung Clean Energy Ghana Limited. They produce pellets from sawdust, but they use a special type of cookstove, which is very expensive for the ordinary Ghanaian. So, but our briquette can be used with any locally made stove. So far, we've created over 75 jobs. 80% are owned by women. 500 tons of biomass has been recycled. We have planted over 200,000 trees. Our annual production rate is 580 tons. And as a result, we make over 100,000 in gross profits. In 2020, we started with 290,000 as revenue, but we anticipate to get over $5 million by the year 2026. We are asking for $150,000 to buy briquette machines and to construct a standard warehouse. This will enable us to create over 200 jobs and serve over 5 million customers. This is our team. Soria is my co-founder, and my marketing manager is Diata Charity. This is my contact. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much, Cletus. A very good presentation. So I open it up to the panelists to share their feedback, remarks, questions. Anyone? If you are speaking, you're on mute. Yes, Rory.
Well, great presentation and progress and profitability. My question is around your growth strategy, and is there something that protects what you're doing as you start to expand geographically?
Please, I didn't get the last part of the question.
Yeah, I'm asking about
Samuel, can you repeat it for me?
Sure. The long-term sustainability, financial sustainability as you grow. So I'm thinking about your growth strategy, and is what you're doing, is there any kind of intellectual property or something that would give you an advantage as you continue to grow?
Yes, intellectual property, we started with the process, but in Ghana here, it's always very slow, but we've already started.
Okay, thanks for that. I see Martin and Mzee, your hand is up. Maybe you can combine the question and then Cletus, you can answer them all in one. Martin, maybe you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, mine is a quick one. I would like to know what market it targets. Is it the retail market, or is it targeting corporate clients, or how do you market your products?
Yeah, thanks, Martin, for that. Mzee?
How do I market it? Is it market or the target?
Yeah, who is your target market? Is it the retail clients?
Yes,
is it corporates? Is it factories?
At the moment, we are targeting retail. Our production level is not yet that big, but we are targeting the cooking industry, and then households, and then institutions like schools. That is where we've started, but we anticipate to go into to get a contract with a big client moving forward.
Thank you so much, Cletus. Mzee?
Yes, so if I'm not mistaken, rice husks can also be used for biomass for boilers for different rice mills. It can also be used for organic fertilizer. So how is are the farmers, whether small or commercial, currently using this husk? Because my understanding is it can be used, and it probably is being used now by different farmers in some form or the other, either as biomass or as organic fertilizer.
Cletus?
Yeah, the part of the ending part of the question I didn't get. Is he asking of how are we going to do?
Yeah, so I'll repeat the question again. So we have a rice investment in Nigeria, a large-scale commercial farm and mill, and so we have husk that is a byproduct. And if I'm not mistaken, that husk can be used for either by large rice mill for biomass for their boilers as fuel, of course. So you're converting it to charcoal, but it can also be used large scale as biomass for boilers or power generation for a mill. And at the same time, it can also potentially be used as organic fertilizer. So I'm assuming right now that the husk is not just being discarded, is being used in some form today by the farmers. So just to get a feel for who is using this husk now, and tied to the earlier question, are you going to be able to source enough to scale, given that there are alternate substitute uses of this husk currently by farmers or millers?
Yes, thank you very much. At the moment, it is free, but I anticipate that in the near future, there will be other alternative uses in our area. So plans are being put in place to do that. One of the plans we are using is to create training women, and I give them the charring, and that would be a work I've created for them. So it is their responsibility to now go to the farms and collect the rice sacks and then char it. Then I go to them and collect it. That is my first thing. The second, the long-term agenda is to start another business where I can buy a rice miller, and then I'll be milling the rice for another business, and then use the chaff to do my briquette. Then my long term of
We might have to cut the answer a little
agenda is-
short. Sorry, Cletus, if
Yeah.
you could just wrap the question up, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
So
Yes,
long story short, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Samuel, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that, creators. Feel free to continue typing your answer on the chat. I'm sure that the panelists and the audience will be interested to know about the strategy that you're going to have even as you go to the future. We'll move to the next person. So we'll have Recycle Africa from Rwanda. So Benoit, if you're here, feel free to start to share your screen. Yeah, it's coming up as he prepares. We do encourage everyone to provide feedback to these entrepreneurs on the form. We highly appreciate your contribution to this engagement today. So Benoit, if you're ready, just put it on presentation mode and start.
Thank you very much. Why recycle waste? For starting this business, you realize the environmental problem and the agricultural problem of the population which was living near the Musanze city. And the population of Rwanda living in the different city of Rwanda will be from 17 to 35% by 2024. This means the West will be
Benoit, sorry to cut you short. Is it possible to put it on presentation mode? On the extreme right down there, you should be able to see an icon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good now. Sorry about that. Proceed.
Yeah, thank you. So I was saying that the population of Rwanda who will be living in the different city will be from 17% to 35% by 2024. This means West will be growing and the landfill will be also growing. So for starting this business, I realized the environmental problem of the population living near the Musanze city and the agricultural problem of the farmers in that region. So we have this problem of the landfill, which cause the air and underground water pollution. So this waste are causing this problem to the living population who are living here in this landfill. Our solution is the organic fertilizer made from municipal waste. So we are recycling this waste in order to help farmers to get organic fertilizer so that they can do a sustainable agriculture. Our organic fertilizer is used without any other complements, or it can be used with other chemical fertilizer such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So the population who are living in the rural areas can purchase this product to our plants so that they can use it in their land, for restoring the land, which was damaged by excessive use of chemical fertilizers. If we compare the use of organic fertilizer and the yield which can we make, we have seen that with using our own organic fertilizer, we can get 23 tons per hectare if you are using it on the potatoes. And if you are mixing with the nitrogen and the phosphorus and the potassium, NPK, you can get 32 tons per hectare. And the cost for our organic fertilizer is very low compared to the use of organic and the chemical fertilizers. We are operating in this region. So we are in northern province of Rwanda and near Uganda and the Congo. So we are there in the region which is in agricultural region. So we have many farmers who can use our organic fertilizer. We have a center here. It's like a plant. We are operating this plant given by the district of Musanze. So it's a free rent center which we are using right now. The growing of the market of organic fertilizer is undeveloped, but the chemical fertilizer market is developed. So we want to position our business in order to develop the organic market, the organic fertilizer market. So we have this pilot project, and we have served around 116 customers to date. This is our numbers. So we restored 97 hectares, and we have produced right now 460 tons of fertilizer. And as I said, we have customers, 160 customers. This is our team. It's a great team. I'm Benoit Musabimana, the founder and the CEO of Recycle Africa. And we have these people who are helping us to work for this project. And we have two co-founders in our company. This is our employees who are working day to day in our production. And we have partners who are working with us. For the growth or production of our company, for this year, we will be having 24,000 USD revenue, and we will be producing 300 tons. And we are planning, because if we get fund, we will planning to get revenue in 2024 of 250,000 USD, because the revenue will be depending on the waste which we will be recycling.
We might need to wrap up a little quicker, so take a few more seconds.
We will be having 200 tons, 2,000 tons, and the financial projection, it looks like this. We are asking 100,000 USD for upgrading our plant in order to produce 1,500 tons per year, so that we can have land and equipment for producing this number of tons, so that we can help more farmers to get organic fertilizer. This is our contact. So help us to reduce waste by producing more organic fertilizer and help farmers to restore their land. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Benoit. I'm opening it up for question, feedback, clarification. So feel free to unmute yourself. Yes, Aparupa.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Benoit. I wanted to ask a couple of questions around market sizing. So a couple of things. One was you mentioned that there's a growing demand for organic fertilizer relative to chemical fertilizer. And I was wondering if you have any numbers around that or projections. I think that would be quite helpful. And then the second was you had a slide where you showed the region beyond Rwanda, so Burundi, DRC, and a few others. Is the plan to expand into these other areas? If so, how do you intend to scale and what do you think your addressable market is? Thanks.
Sorry, Benoit, you're on mute.
For the demand for the organic fertilizer, we are operating in the region where more 70% are farmers. But 70% of the population are farmers. So the demand is very high. So for the use of chemical fertilizer, there was a campaign for the use of chemical fertilizer, but the organic fertilizer is now needed for restoring land which was damaged by excessive use of chemical fertilizer. So the population need organic fertilizer for restoring their land. I'm not expanding in this region because I was showing the way we are operating in Rwanda, but we will not go beyond Rwanda. We are still want to positioning our business in Rwanda so that we can expand later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Benoit. That was good. Maybe one more for a few minutes. Rory.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the presentation and your excellent work. My question is around the processing of municipal waste and turning it into fertilizer. And I'm thinking your waste streams are probably pretty different than ours in the US, but how are you doing that? And how are you doing quality control and assurance in that process to ensure that, you know, consistency, high quality and safety?
Yeah. For now, we are starting our business and we have seen the organic fertilizer which we are producing have good quality. We have done tests in the laboratory here in Rwanda so that we have seen there is no other product which can be poisoning the plant. And the organic fertilizer which we are producing have all nutrients for the plant. And if you can see, you have seen where I compare the use of our organic fertilizer to other fertilizers. We can have more yields if we are using our organic fertilizer and compared to other chemical fertilizers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Benoit. I hope that was well answered. So we'll move on because of times. We have 2 more presentations to go. In the meantime, I want to encourage everyone to share your feedback with the entrepreneurs today using the feedback form that we have shared on the chat, which is very good. So we'll move on to Reno Mko. If you're ready, you can go next. Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, please go next.
Okay. Yes. Okay. After graduation from school, due to my love and passion for entrepreneurship, I inherited my mother's cooking oil retail business. And with a little saving from my own resources and contribution from family and friends, I was able to move this cooking oil retail business from retailing of cooking oil to production of cooking oil. And that gave birth to Rene Emco, a business funded to partner with rural dwellers to maximize their agricultural and entrepreneurial capacity, and also to give value to customers, to investors, and to partners. So in Nigeria, we have come to realize that poverty and hunger is a major challenge. And this is as a result of scarcity of, or let me say, price hike and scarcity of farm products. And soybeans and granules are not exempted from this, because soybeans and granules are major components in the production of animal protein fiber, which is used in making animal feed. And this has also gone a long way in affecting animal farmers, in the sense that the cost of production of the animal feed has skyrocketed. And also, soya oil and groundnut oil are the conventional type of oil in Nigeria. And it has also resulted to an increase in the price of this product. Another problem that we have really identified is that Nigeria is really blessed with abundant baobab trees in the wild, but most of the rural dwellers and locals throw away the seed because they don't have the knowledge that it can become another source of income to them. So this is really where we come in. We buy up these baobab seeds from them and use it for production of baobab seed cake and baobab oil. We extract the oil from the baobab seed as for the production of cooking oil. And this protein fiber, which is the baobab seed cake, is being used as a protein source in animal feed production. Going a long way too, this solution of ours has really resulted to additional source of income to the rural dwellers, as far that they're able to make additional income from what formerly they regard as waste. And apart from that too, there's a profit margin improvement for these animal farmers by 11%. And also the oil we produce, the baobab oil that we produce, is 13% cheaper than the conventional oil, which is soybean oil and groundnut oil. So considering our impacts, really, we want to just look at one of the impacts, which is considering the land. We are promoting and encouraging the preservation of baobab trees in the wild, and also encouraging the planting of new as a source of revenue to these rural dwellers. Our business is of a growing concern, and really next year we're expecting to double up, or we're expecting at least to have about 60% increase in the revenue that we have already generated this year. This is our team. We're a group of young and talented people focused on giving deliberate action to meet our objective. We're most especially trying to better our best by being open to others for consistent improvement. So we are really asking for $120,000. Yeah, because presently the oil we produce is locally done. That's, we do it manually, and it's not hectic. And the major constraint to this is that we don't have the opportunity to enter well-structured markets like supermarkets and shopping malls. So to overcome this, we really need a stainless steel refining oil plant to achieve this. And another important thing that we're concerned about is the sustainability of our business in terms of increasing the predictability of having raw materials. In doing this, we want to achieve this by at least start with the planting of no less than 10 hectares of baobab tree. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. A great presentation. I'm opening it up to the panelists. Anyone? Okay, now I'm not sure we have anyone ready now. Yes.
I'm LK Pandey.
Yes, please go.
Yeah, so my one suggestion is instead of investing in capital expenditure, we we should go for custom work, like kind of job work. So that is important, and at this stage at least. So as an entrepreneur, I will not suggest to invest into capital expenditure. Thank you.
Thank you,
Others
sir.
may give input here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. I see, Rekia, your hand is up.
Thank you, Samuel. That was a great presentation, Emmanuel. I just had one quick question for you. I see that your numbers in revenue for this year, or I think it's 2021, yeah? You had 350,000 in revenue. I wanted to understand what's the profit like on your business, just to understand a little bit of actually how much margins you have.
Typically, the profit is like 25 to 30% return on the revenue, percentage of the revenue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Aparupa?
Hi, Emmanuel. I just have a couple of quick comments. One is that I think the Baobab opportunity is very interesting, and we've had clients approach us in the past who have been talking about this specifically, and not just in Nigeria, but other parts of West Africa, including Guinea, of all places.
Okay.
So there's that. So that's some decent validation there. And the second is, I just wanted to say that was a really nice presentation. Overall, I think, aesthetically, visually, it was very comprehensive. There was just a couple of places where it was a little wordy, and just watch out for a couple of formatting issues, but overall, very nice presentation. So good job.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all your feedback. We highly appreciate. Last but not least, we'll have Nature's Nectar. If you're here, you can start to share your screen.
Hi, everyone. Just getting my presentation up.
It's coming up.
Can we see it?
Yes, you can see it. Good. Proceed.
All right. So 1/3 of all of the food we eat today is because of bees. Bees are such an important part of our everyday lives. And here at Nature's Nectar, we work to not only protect the bees, but also the environment in which they live within. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Milling. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nature's Nectar. We're a sustainable honey company based here in Zambia, working to protect local forests and creating an impactful income, all through beekeeping. Traditional beekeeping is a practice that dates back centuries, but unfortunately is no longer a sustainable practice. For every traditional beehive made, it kills one indigenous tree. They only last for 2 to 3 years on average, and they create a very low quality honey that is also not inclusive for women to be in this practice. So what we do at Nature's Nectar is distribute locally and sustainably produced top bar beehives that don't take from the local forest, create a high value, high quality honey where we can pay premium prices to our farmer producers, and we're able to include 50% female farmers in a male dominated practice. So our model is pretty simple. We distribute beehives to local farmers, and then we're the guaranteed buyer of all honey produced from those hives. We also have a nice new revenue of managing beehives and distributing beehives with different partners across Zambia. And then we also have the sale of beeswax as a byproduct from the honey as well. These are some of our products. We have 2 seasons of honey, a summer and a winter, creating 2 different flavors and colors of our honey, as well as our beeswax that we sell in wholesale, mainly to cosmetic supply companies. Nature's Nectar was founded with the core belief that we really have to show and prove our impacts and measure our impacts, which is why we were founded to really create gender equality, impactful income, and a truly sustainable and valuable product out of Zambia. As you can see with some of our competitors, we really stand out against the crowd. We're really focused on creating a high value, high quality product that truly creates impact across the board. To date, since we were founded in 2018, we've distributed over 20,000 beehives to 2,000 farmers. We have full traceability and real-time data of all of our activities and impacts. We have exported over 80 tons in the SADC region, and we have conducted many trainings across the country with our different farmer networks. This is our predictions. 2020 was definitely a rough year for us, which I'm happy to give more insight to. But essentially with COVID and a partner exiting the business, we lost a lot of revenues, but 2020 is shaping up and we'll hit just under $400,000 in revenue this year, and will continually grow over the next few years to hit just under 2 million revenue through mainly Top Bar honey sales, as well as beeswax sales and beehive management. By 2025, we want to distribute 50,000 beehives to 5,000 farmers and produce a minimum of 500 metric tons, half of which will be wholesale and half into high value retail markets, and reach just under 2 million revenue mark by 2025. This is some of our team, which we wouldn't be anything without these guys on the ground. We're all experienced beekeepers based here on the ground in Zambia, really working hand in hand with the communities and farmer groups. And we also have our key partners, conservation groups like the West Lunga Conservation Project, BCP, and WWF that we work with as livelihood partners across Zambia. We are currently seeking $500,000 in investment to help us in our growth strategy. I know that these percentages seem small, but we're talking about a $9.2 billion industry that is growing every year. The export of Zambian honey has increased by 700% since 2014. So the market is ever increasing, especially with people wanting to have more of a healthy lifestyle and a more natural sugar. So now more than ever, we know it's important to invest in sustainable solutions and sustainable food products. So thank you so much for your time today. And I hope you'll join us to save the trees and save the bees so we can make more honey and more money. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Catherine. A very good ending right there. So I'm opening it up for the panelists for feedback, questions. Do you have anyone?
I'll jump in then. Catherine, you used the term Top Bar. What is Top Bar honey versus any other honey?
It's the type of beehive that we're using. So it doesn't have a frame. It's just the wooden bar that goes across versus the traditional beehive, which is a bark beehive made of stripping the bark from a tree. And those only last 2 to 3 years, whereas a Top Bar hive can last 20 or more years on average.
Top Bar is in Langstrom hive.
No, it's a Kenyan Top Bar hive. So it's it hangs from the tree and it just has a bar instead of a wooden frame.
Okay.
Thank you, Catherine, for that. Rory?
Yeah, I'll jump in with another one. Thank you for that. Can you talk about the training that you give to the hive keepers and the compensation, how that works and how you see that changing over time as your growth continues?
Yes, so we do an in-depth training with our farmers. It's a new, what we say is we're using all the same local knowledge that already exists. We're just upgrading the device that they're using in the way that they're beekeeping. So we are just upgrading the type of hive that they use, but that also involves needing a new training and skills understanding of how that needs to be managed. So every community that receives beehives, we do a general farmer training, and then we also have what's called our zone lead farmers, who are the ones doing the hands-on harvesting of the hives and do a more in-depth training with us. And that group of farmers gets a percentage payout based on the production from their hives that they have managed. So it helps to give incentive to have the best productions, as well as keep any type of side selling from going on, because they will get a higher cut with more honey that's produced. We do aim to start putting in bonus payments for communities that we've worked with over time to continually incentivizing larger payouts and production in areas that we've been working with for quite some time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Catherine. So we have come to the end of the presentation from the entrepreneurs. So thank you so much to everybody who did find time to join and to listen. I know it's quite a lot of information, but what we are doing today, it is a beginning of a journey where we want to engage these companies and to be able to create partnership, whichever partnership, be it investment or even providing leadership if you're already an entrepreneur or you want to supply to these companies. So it was just the beginning. So thank you so much. Also, thanks so much to our panelists of investors who made it to the session. We really appreciate. I want to give you an opportunity to share your feedback overall on the presentations today and also on the program as well. A few minutes, because I see we have 5 minutes to the end of the session. Maybe I can start with Martin. I had seen your hand is up. Martin, maybe brief remarks from you.
As Martin is unmuting himself, I want to remind people about the feedback forms. We want to try and beat our record yesterday of 26 feedbacks. So if you have been keeping notes, please use these final 5 minutes to type in your notes as well and press submit. And we want to recognize everybody who's provided feedback this time. Anyone who's here has a valid voice and we'd really love to hear it. We'll be sharing this feedback with the entrepreneurs. So thank you. Yes, go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, thank you for the chance, Samuel. My name is Martin from Croft in Kenya. I think the session was worthwhile. We've gotten a lot of interesting business models from entrepreneurs all over Africa. It was a very useful session for us as financiers. We are an impact investor, and definitely we'll be getting back to you to talk to a few that have shown us that could be a good fit for our investment strategy. If there's a channel that or rather the contacts that you can share with us so that we can get back to you in future and get also in contact with those entrepreneurs that would be interested in financing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin. Definitely we'll share that with you. We have the information. In the meantime, feel free to let us know which companies on the feedback form. Maybe next, Museo, if you're here, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, you can go next.
Sure, and it's Mezuo, but that's okay, not a problem.
Sorry about that.
No, it was a very interesting session for me, just listening to the different entrepreneurs. So very good to hear their pitches and the ideas and the plans. So glad to be part of this, but no real additional feedback over and beyond that. Happy to provide informally any support if required for some of the entrepreneurs.
Thank you, appreciated. Victor?
Thanks, Samuel. And we have had very good presentations, not only for today, but also yesterday. I think the most important thing that most of the entrepreneurs need to address is the scalability test. Yeah, it is a very important factor for gaining market traction and demonstrating commercial viability. So in the presentations, we need to see a sense of trying to address scalability from all angles and see how it promote business. So to me, that's the only feedback I can give. I have input in the feedback form for certain enterprises that I think we can discuss further after this event for yesterday and also for today. So definitely you'll keep us in touch. A final one is that, KCV, we have invested in, 2 enterprises that were here in this event for yesterday and then one for today. And we are still interested in looking at this space of, conservation, entrepreneurship, and see how we can contribute to some of these, for lack of a better word, indigenous value chains that are really creating value and can be supported. Back to you, Samuel.
Thank you so much, Victor, and happy to note that 2 of the companies have been supported. We'll definitely engage with you, and we appreciate the partnership that we are almost starting. So thank you so much. Maybe Rory, you can go next.
What stands out to me, I guess, is how well prepared and how thoughtful these presentations were. So kudos to the entrepreneurs and kudos to the organizers for helping get everyone to that stage. The second thing I want to point out is how for every single company, the impact is really baked into the business model. And that is so important because it's just not always the case. So if you do well financially, you will do well with regard to your social and environmental goals. What I'm thinking about right now is the groups that I support in the U.S. focused on clean energy and food system. Most investors in the U.S. are requiring that the companies are domiciled in the U.S. or Canada. So I'm not quite sure how that works with these companies, but I'd like to talk that through and we'll follow up. So thank you again, everybody.
Thank you so much. I see we're on top of the hour, so perhaps you can give us about 5 minutes and we should be through. Apologies for that. Aparupa, if you can go next.
Sure, thank you. First of all, thank you so much to both the organizers and the presenters. This has been a really fantastic session. I just wanted to provide some overarching takeaways. These apply to varying degrees to different presenters, so it's not meant to be super specific. But one is, I think it will be really good to be able to pull the thread a little bit more in terms of people's supply and value chains, because I think that's really where we get a sense of opportunity, scale, and those kinds of things. The second is quantifying things where possible, especially on the demand side. I think we saw some good numbers there in terms of financial projections, production capacity, things of that nature. But I think where there's a real need for quantification is usually on the demand side. I think that's quite important. Scale, always good to provide a pathway to scale, whether that's geographic, whether it's such a product diversification, whatever that may mean for you, it makes sense for you. But scale is quite important. And then lastly, there were a few businesses here that are focusing on essential oils, which is very close to my heart. I've done a lot of work in this space. I think it's a fantastic industry to look at. And for those of you who are doing this, I would encourage you to really look at that value chain, especially looking at flavor and fragrances. There are tons of opportunities there in terms of R&D, in terms of feeding into much larger industries, whether that's food and beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of interesting things that are happening there. A lot of this is monopolized currently by European players. And I think there's a real untapped opportunity here within Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa in particular for this. So that's all I've got. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for those insights. Because of time, maybe I'll take back to Amanda for the final remarks, and then we can call it a day.
All right, these final remarks, I'm going to keep them very practical. Everyone here is a part of an awesome community. We want to keep you in that community. So I want you guys to take a look at the chat box for all these links. We'll forward them to you as well later, but I'll talk about each of the links one at a time. First, the feedback form for today. I think you've heard about it enough, but take a look at it. Put your comments, your questions in there. We will be sharing that with the entrepreneurs. Second, folks want to contact you. They've seen you present. There's a link for that. You can look at the contact information for the presenters as well as their slide decks, their websites. They've made videos to show you tours of their actual field or factory. So please check out link number 2, which is where you can see the profiles of the 15 entrepreneurs. Number 3, we do have applications open for 2022. So anyone here who is thinking, how can I make my business better? Or how can I participate in this network? Please take a look and apply. You will find the apply link on our website, thelandaccelerator.com. The 4th link is if you enjoyed this today, you love businesses, you want to see what else is out there. We're having 15 companies from India presenting. I think this can be interesting for everyone here because 1, you might want to partner with some technologies or get some ideas from what people are doing across geographies. We did see a few of our friends from India joining us today, so I wanted to say thank you. But the opportunities for partnership and idea sharing between these 2 regions is phenomenal. And if you don't believe it, join us. You can click on that link to see the dates and to register. It's going to be November 15th and 16th. And then last but not least, our organization is co-hosting an event at the COP26 event in Glasgow, which I think it's the Council of Parties. It's like where everybody gets together and creates their climate-based agreements at the national level. So really exciting. We are making some cool announcements about restoration in Africa. So take a look at that Eventbrite link and sign up for it, and you will see some amazing restoration entrepreneurs and restoration projects happening in Africa. And we are talking about some funding that we're actually bringing to the continent. So check it out, learn more. And those are my big announcements. I want to pass it back to you, Samuel, and thank you for the additional time today.
Thank you so much, Amanda, and to everyone who made it possible to have these sessions. We really appreciate. So check on those links and we definitely connect. Otherwise, thank you so much. I wish you a great day and good evening to everybody in Africa. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you guys so much for participating. This was so fun, and we can't wait to see most of you in Kenya or all of you in Kenya. And thank you so much.